want to play that intro again, you just go right ahead and do that. I'll wait. Now, if you're wondering why the thumbnail is so darn trippy, for that, I have no answer for you, my friend. But if your query is, what is up with the bumpin' new theme song, that, my friends, is courtesy of Todd Preston, for whom this series has been named the Toddyssey. And Todd got in touch with me through the comments section of these videos. And I'll just do a little drawing while I talk. And he had a couple questions for me, so we Skyped, and he made a good point. Some of the questions he has, other people might have as well. So we did a little drawing together, and this was the drawing we came up with. So I'm going to do my own version of this drawing, but also talk about some of the stuff that came up. So one of the first things that came up, and this is something I don't usually think about, but it's really important, is the brush stuff. So he was using Procreate. So I'm just going to talk in general terms, what a simple brush you can use that'll help make drawing feel more natural, like you're drawing with a pencil or a familiar medium. So you can just get into it and not worry about that too much. So you see how there's a size of the brush, and I'm using the brackets in Photoshop to make it bigger or smaller. So for this one, you want it so that when you push down at the comfortable, like a comfortable hard push, you know, it's around this size. And then when you just make a stroke, it's like around that size. Also, you see how the opacity thing right here, you want it to be darker. Well, I'm not saying you always have to, but this is how I like to do it. You want it to be darker when you push down, and you have to find a medium. So I want the line to be like that thick on average. So I'm going to make it smaller. So when I push down, it's that thick, it's that color. And I think I'll even make it a darker color. Okay, something like that. So now, and it also has the thing where the more you push, the deeper it gets. That's that button right there if you're using a Wacom tablet. So I think those are the general things you want to keep in mind. I hope that's not too general. If you have more questions, you can leave them in the comment section. But I don't like to talk about that stuff too much because it's not that fun. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I also like to do is I don't like to work in complete black. I usually like to have it like a tint of any color. So let's try that. See, it's kind of nice. I don't know, just a preference. But when you're coloring stuff, you usually don't want to use black in your piece anywhere because it'll flatten things out. So the outline is usually a very dark color that will read as black but isn't actually black. That's a little tip. Alright, so he was saying the main issue was that all his characters had the same kind of expressions. And he didn't know why. So I offered him an idea for like a way to kind of try to break out of the habit. So I'm just going to draw a couple heads here. Okay, I'm keeping them generally the same because that part's easy to mess around. So he did this kind of shape. And I told him to experiment with the different ways that you can tilt eyes. So you can tilt eyes like this. Okay, so the eye socket. If you've watched my video on expressive skulls, then I guess I'm kind of assuming you have, but that might not be a fair assumption. But you should watch that if you're interested in using this method. But basically, we're going to draw the skull, but we're going to make it expressive. So it can either be, this is just the plain expression. There's a few different things you can do. You can cut it off like that. That's like the bored expression, or like stoic or something. Alright. Then you can also cut it down. And there's another thing, there's another tip I gave him was draw the full circles. So if you want to make an angry guy, don't draw it like that. You could, but you can draw the full circle, get it in the right spot, and then cut out the part to make him look angry. Cut out that top part and erase. I think it really, because once you lay out this whole thing, it'll make it feel more anatomically right most of the time, in my experience. So you got the down tilt, which is angry, and then you got the up tilt like this, which is sad. Alright? So you got flat, up, and down tilt. Those are 3 basic tilts. There's stuff you can do with the bottom, but let's not worry about that right now. Alright? We can keep it simple. There's not too much you can do with the bottom. You can just bring it up a little bit, I guess. It doesn't tilt as much. So, instead of just making them symmetrical like this, where they both go down tilt, what if, like here, I made one circle and one down tilt? What if I do one up tilt in one circle. What if I do, I'm not following my own rule, but I'm imagining it. See how this and this match up? So it's kind of like, sometimes I skip that step, but I'm still keeping the principle in mind here too. Okay, we already did that one. What if I do one flat and one angry? Okay, and since these are both angry, what if I do one angry and one sad? Alright. So this is already going to force us to make some interesting expressions. So let's keep the nose and stuff pretty basic. Alright. We won't even mess around with the mouth. The other thing is the mouth. Alright, what can we do with the mouth? There's straight. There's up smiling. And then there's bringing it down to the frown. Alright. So those are two options. And then there's the straight option. Or I guess that's a little high, so it's a little smile. Let's leave it. Sometimes you make mistakes or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then, like, to the side. You know, you can tilt to the side, and you can do the same thing. Down to the side, up to the side. Let's try down to the side, since this guy's looking a little like... Now, you know what? That's too obvious, because he already looks grumpy. Let's try up to the side. Look how much... Okay, let's look at this real quick. That's one character. I hope you can already see the character, because I can. He's a mischievous little devil right there. He likes causing trouble, alright? Versus this guy. He's more serious. Maybe he's having an issue, man. Maybe he's having a bad day, or he's got serious stuff to take care of. So just that little thing, and you can experiment. Let's keep going. You know what? Let's keep going. Because this is how you come up with characters, I think. Let's try something different. What if I make it low and long? Alright, now he's just like a serious, stoic guy. Alright, what if I make him smiling like a big wide smile up high? Oh man, now he's like a sinister creep. I like that. Alright, so we're going to stick with that. And then, you know, you put in the eyes and stuff, and I talk about that in my other videos, so I'm not going to get into all the features here. It's supposed to be a super long video. But what we do want to do is we're going to want to draw our own version of this fellow right here. So let's go ahead and move along and do that. Alright. The story between this guy, he's got his head has got two halves. Oops. So, one side is always like serious, and straight and stuff, and the other side is it's very mischievous, darty-eyed. So I'm gonna choose a green color because he's a goblin, right? Is that stereotyping goblins? Is that like a taboo these days? I cannot keep up with all that stuff. And let's keep the same shape head. That's a good shape head. What's wrong with that shape head? You know what I'm saying? But what might I do differently? Okay, so we've got one round eye and one angry eye. That's what we ended up with. So what I might do is push that bigger. Let's try that. Let's make the eye take up as much of the head as we can. And the nose was pretty big too, but maybe let's even push that bigger. Oh dang, what's going on here? And we'll keep the mouth pretty normal. And we have to keep that one side smirking, one side straight kind of thing going on. And then let's connect it in from here. You know, give it maybe a little more realism, because we're gonna pull in this little detail, anatomical detail. So how are we gonna put the eyes in? Well, the eyeball sits in there, and you could just imagine it in different ways. You can imagine it sitting like that, and then you're gonna have a lot of area around there. So let's do that out, and then we'll and then we'll come back to the other ones. So this one's a little one sitting in there, and he's looking off to the side. Okay, so that's a little one. And I like to have the eyebrows. So this guy doesn't have eyebrows, but I'm going to put some eyebrows on mine, because eyebrows really add a lot more to the expression too. So I like to make the eyebrows follow basically the top of the what's it called? Of the eye socket thing that we made. So I said that that's one way we could do the eyes. Let's do the eyes another way. And we can keep all that. What if we have the eye socket, the eyeball fill the whole eye, so it's just a giant, it wouldn't even fit in the head. It's unrealistic, but let's just go with that. Then we're gonna have the eyeball, the upper and lower eyeball. When I can't talk, upper and lower eyelids, doing something like this. See, and in this case, you should see a nice shadow under the eye, but I'm not gonna add that at this stage. Okay. Actually, that sometimes I do add it at this stage. I haven't done digital painting like that in a while. Actually, I should do that again. I have a video called Digital Painting Made Easy or something like that. It's a Draw D&D. And also at this point, see that the eraser just erases everything 100%. Usually I want to come over here and turn on the opacity for this kind of thing. So that, see now if I press, I can erase lightly. And if I press hard, it'll erase all the way. Alright, so craft the nose a little bit. I won't add any shadows and stuff yet. So I guess, why not? Let's keep the eyes like this. It works either way. I think I might have liked the other. This one's more cartoony. I think I like the other one better, but that's cool. It's all good. We're just having fun here. Let's not get too serious. Alright. Now let's see, should I emphasize some cheekbones? So he's got like a bumpy head. I think that's what we were trying to get at here. So I usually just do the bumps like this and scatter them in groups of 2 or 3. Something like that. And then the ears, I would make the ears a lot bigger. I like to really push this shape, so I made the eyes bigger, the nose bigger, and the ears bigger. And I think when you go to exaggerated, you take things to an exaggerated area, it helps you as an artist because it's easier to tone stuff down than to make it more Shazam. You know what I mean? Like if I was like, okay, this guy's ears are too big, I can make him eat smaller. But like, I don't know, or maybe it's just more fun. I don't know. Maybe it's just more fun. This guy's actually kind of handsome for a weird goblin guy. I don't know why. Both of these guys. So he's got rounder features. This is one thing I mentioned too. See how most of his stuff is rounded? The ears are pointed. But most of the other shapes, the nose and stuff are rounded. These guys got a little more points going on. And I think that makes him a little more dangerous. And see, even in the corners, like here. It's going to make him seem a little more dangerous. And just for good measure, I think I want to give him a little bit of a cleft chin. I'm a fan of giving my weird characters. And a little bit of a facial hair thing going on. He seems like an older fella. He's got some tired eyes, you know what I mean? So, and I guess also the cleft chin is a bit of an homage to myself. I don't know if that's in poor taste. I got a little butt chin. So you know what? Let's do the method from what's it called? So let's okay. We'll start here. We'll do Command J. All right. So we'll use the method from the Draw D&D. I explained it a lot more, like step by step, like what to do with all the brush settings and everything. I'll kind of just go through it while I'm talking, and probably won't render it out that much, but we'll see. Maybe I'll put it in fast forward and do that. So what I'm doing now is I'm adding the shadows, and I'm just doing it on the exact same layer, and just trying to get some depth in there. And after that, I think maybe I'll combine my methods. It probably won't look good though. I really want to kind of just outline this guy. He's an interesting dude. It'll be a fun one to outline, but then I'll lose the facial hair. See, this is one way to do it, and then I could add color on top of this on a multiply layer, I think, or a. Would that be it? Alright, cool. I think we can stop here, actually. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to do this guy in my traditional style because I feel like it. And put that in flash forward mode. So, yeah, I guess I'll just end the video with that. And I'm going to play that awesome beat again. Oh, man. I'm going to give you guys another taste just because it's that bumping. So, until next time. I hope you guys are all enjoying your own Toddyseys and making great strides in your artistic journey. Peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.